Welcome into Soda City Living. Today we're out at Big Red Barn Retreat. We're going to be learning about their equine assisted psychotherapy, which is a really beautiful technique that they use to help people that come here and treat them and work with them. And maybe we'll even get to see some horses a little bit later. So this is Eileen and Stephanie. Thank you guys so much for having us out here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So you guys are both facilitators to help out, but you're saying the horses are really the facilitators. What is a session like for someone who maybe isn't as familiar with EAP?
Well, so the key is we really meet the client where they are at. You know, some are eager to move in and be with the horses right away. We've had some that it's taken a few sessions before they've even entered the gate and connected with the horses in their space.
Yeah.
Adding to that is certainly it's client-led, right? The veterans that we serve, the first responders, again, so many of them, the majority of them have zero horse experience.
Right.
Or that memory of, I was on vacation, took a trail ride, love horses. But then also offering them that opportunity of, when you're ready, you know, it's on your terms.
What about for the horses? What sort of training goes into it on their side? And what is their understanding of what they're doing with the veterans and first responders that are working with them?
Great question. What is their understanding of it? So much of it is how we're presenting ourselves, how we're entering their space. The training, what's beautiful about this facility, so many things, how they created it, the family, Sutton, Barbara, in honor of, I think it was her father, husband,
Leon.
is they laid this out as a healing facility versus a very busy, I've worked at many different therapeutic riding centers, where they're busy, they're teaching, they're lesson barns. Here it's, the horses are able to be really themselves. So it's not so much about training techniques, it's more, are they interested?
Got it.
What does make them interested in it?
Wow.
And it's the authenticness from the person that either, again, the beautiful part is that the horses also get to choose. You know, it's very organic in that moment where that individual is certainly able to kind of lead the session with the horses.
Co-leading, co-facilitating together.
And the horses certainly, you know, they're able to respond to what is being what is being offered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what have you guys seen with the veterans and first responders that come out here and start relationships with these horses? What do you see in how it heals their trauma and what they need to work through?
Yeah. I think one of the big things is, as Eileen said, just how the space was created, you know, and the intention that went into it, that even driving through the gate, driving up to the barn, seeing the horses in the field, just a sense of peace for so many starts at that first approach.
Yeah.
I think also just being able to interact with the horses, be accepted where they are, not being judged. Because so much of the trauma that veterans carry, it may be shame or guilt from experiences that they've had, or sometimes it's the sexual trauma, and they're carrying the burden of that. So to have real relationships and work through their experiences, the stories that they tell themselves as they anticipate what's going to happen, and the space to consider other ways of looking at things.
One of the phrases that you hear so much is horses healing humans. And really, I think it's horses providing a different perspective, a different awareness, and an opportunity for individuals to really tap into shoulders down and the feelings. And because horses are very intuitive.
Yeah.
So they're
Energy
picking
readers.
up on any humans responding. So it's very much, especially with our veterans, one of the consistent themes that seems to be across borders and genders is, what are they carrying? And sometimes they're not even aware of how much they're carrying. People like to use the words magic and all that, but there's something that develops between the human and the individual that opens them up and allows them, without that judgment, to release. Horses are fight, flight, freeze responses, but they always leave off that fourth one, which is they demonstrate in the moment how to release.
Wow.
those heightened, you know,
Yeah, whatever's locked
anxieties,
in there. Yeah.
or are they starting to build and build? And the horses will demonstrate, you know, so many times in sessions, something plays out that was meant for that person in that session
Wow.
between the herd.
Well, and I think for so many of us, talking about your feelings can be really intimidating. First responders and veterans, that is just a completely different level of not being able to, you know, just as someone that's able-bodied, able-minded, never been through some kind of trauma like that, I still have a hard time talking about things that are going on in my life and being honest about what's going on here. And so I think what EAP does is it creates a space for you to work through those emotions without having to know exactly what they are. The work that you guys are doing is so incredible. So thank you for what you guys are doing for the community here in Columbia.
So much of our military and first responder training is to push it down because the mission is primary. So even feeling the feelings is very difficult. And so creating this space, helping them develop the resources, learn the skills for emotional regulation, and just become aware of those emotional shifts in them when their anxiety increases. And then what can they do in this present moment to help bring that level down? And because it's experiential, it's so different from talk therapy where we're talking about a skill you can apply tomorrow, next week, a year from now when a situation arises. But in that moment with the horses, they get to try on that different behavior or change their thinking or
Acknowledge the feeling.
acknowledge the feeling. And then the horses respond to that, and that's really what helps anchor that change because it's experienced in the moment.
You're invited to come on over.
Yeah.
You know, we have a great relationship with the VA, with other organizations that refer, and it's just a space that certainly it was created for veterans and first responders, that you were welcomed here, no judgment, safe space, and hopefully a place that you'll connect with.
Yeah, I think it's hard not to connect with this beautiful place out here. If people are interested in coming out, how can they reach out to you guys?
Going onto the website for the Big Red Barn, there's a whole page dedicated to equine-assisted psychotherapy and learning, and so there's an interest form on there if they are interested in even just finding out more,
Yes.
talking about what is this therapy all
Absolutely.
about. You know, that's usually where we start, of just what can I help you understand about the model, and a lot of it you can't understand until you experiencing it. For referrals and all that, you know, certainly reaching out to me, reaching out to Eileen. Eileen mentioned the VA. We also work closely with the Vet Center, and we're currently participating in a grant with vocational rehab that is helping veterans with PTSD work on those skills to either get a job or to be able to manage themselves at a job better.
Wow, that's amazing.
So yeah, it's
That's
really
great.
incredible.
Well, thank you both so much for allowing us into this space and teaching us about this. And I think it's time we go hang out with some horses.
Absolutely.
Sound good?
Yes.
Let's do it.